gardeners. Today we want to talk about elderberries. Just share a brief little thing about the elderberries. So this plant behind us is 2 years old. It's actually two plants. We bought these over from a gentleman in Oklahoma, and at the time, I think when he originally built his greenhouse, he had the largest aquaponics system, I believe, in the state of Oklahoma. Does a lot of things with koi fish, and also does a lot with aquaponics. But his specific thing that he raises a lot of is elderberries. And when we were over there, we actually picked up, I believe, 4 different varieties of elderberries. And I don't know the specific difference between them, but there's actually a study out there that describes the difference between them. I don't know if it's length of leaves, the variegation as far as, or the variation in the variegation on the leaves, or if it's the size of the blooms. But the one thing I just want to share about our elderberries, specifically here on the homestead, this same thing happened last year. So some of the initial, after it bloomed, the birds came in and picked off some of the berries while they were still green. Now as you look, that happened to a lot of the lower heads, but as we start to go up, they're continuing to stay green. If you look up top there, how big and green they are, but I mean that's, I don't know, that's probably 10 and a half feet, maybe 11 feet. They're just doing great. And last year alone, off these 2 bushes, I'll put a link in the description. Samantha's our one who normally harvests a lot of these. This year I think we'll have so many that we'll probably have to do it a little bit more as a family. But I believe off of these 2 bushes alone, we actually harvested enough elderberries to make 1 gallon of dried berries. So I guess what I'm sharing with you is, if you don't have elderberries on your homestead, one, they're really easy to grow. They seem to be plentiful, and they seem to ride through the winter really well with no issues. These did not die back. They actually just continued to grow from the main stalk, and they probably put an extra foot and a half on this year, maybe 2 foot. But the thing I've noticed is, if you just look in here at the number of blooms and the number of berry heads, I would say it's probably doubled from just last year. So I think that's the thing, as you see with most fruit trees, as they're doing well and they're just being nice and healthy, they'll actually double as far as almost every year. And behind this is actually our chicken coop. So you can't even see our chicken coop. And then we also have one of those white IBC totes that's behind here that was where we were originally going to release our wasps for the cabbage, but we had some ants, so that's completely covered by this. So I guess they also almost form a really good border as far as kind of almost a fence. So I think there's plenty of uses for them. I think if you check online and see some of the health benefits of elderberries, you'd be impressed. I know in our family we make some elderberry tinctures for cough, and we also use the elderberries some with our animals. So there's definitely a lot of benefits I have to say about the elderberry. I encourage you to look those up, and then also encourage you to go find a couple plants and plant them, because they are prolific, and I don't think you need numerous amounts of them, and they don't need a lot of care. So this might be a welcome addition to your house or to your homestead. So thanks for watching. We'll try to let you know how many berries we harvested off this year, but it'll be probably another couple months before we start getting them. And the one thing I like about having the 4 different varieties, like this one here is almost completely bloomed out. The other ones that we have down in the orchard area, they're actually just starting to bloom. So once picking or harvesting season comes, it can be spread out over about 6 weeks, which is good. It depends on what animals are coming to pluck things off. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this little video. If you got any comments or any tidbits of what you use the elderberries for, and maybe your geographic zone as far as your temperature zone, that way we can see and maybe glean some ideas from each other.